All right, let's talk about AI, but not the theoretical, someday stuff. No, today we are diving headfirst into a real-world story. We're talking about how an AI sniffed out a $5 million problem and fixed it. This is a good one.
So let me ask you this. Could an AI find 5 million bucks just hiding in your workflow? Sounds kind of crazy, right? But this isn't some thought experiment. We're going to look at a real company that did exactly that. And the answer was a huge yes.
Okay, so every good story has a villain, right? In this one, it's a massive, hidden bottleneck. Something so buried in the day-to-day process that it was just accepted as the way we do things. And man, was it costing them. Get this, 3 months, a full 90 days. That is how long it took a team of smart people just to figure out how one single business process worked. Think about that. That's not just slow, that's a system that's fundamentally broken. And it was bleeding more than just time.
So, who are we talking about? The company is Vale, SA, a huge global mining leader. Their big headache was this thing called process discovery. All that really means is trying to map out step by step how work actually gets done in the real world. For them, it was this super manual, tedious process, interviews, spreadsheets, just a total grind. And the result? Huge delays and, sky-high costs.
So, Vale is staring down this huge, inefficient monster. They could have tried to just, do the old way faster, but they didn't. Instead, they brought in a completely new player, an AI agent. The goal wasn't to speed up the old process, it was to see the workflow in a totally new light.
Okay, so what is this thing, an AI process discovery agent? Honestly, just think of it like a super-powered consultant that can be everywhere at once. It literally watches every click, every data entry, every single interaction between people and their computers. And then it sifts through all that noise to find the repetitive, mind-numbing tasks that are just perfect for automation.
And here's how it works. It's actually pretty straightforward. First, the agent just sits back and records everything. We're talking over 370,000 different interactions. Then, it's like a detective, looking for clues, those repetitive patterns and inefficiencies. But, and this is the cool part, it doesn't just point out the problems. It actually creates the maps and suggests what to automate. And the most important step, it all goes to a human for review and approval.
And let's just double-click on that last point, because it's absolutely crucial. This was never about the AI just taking over. The human managers were still in the driver's seat. They looked at what the AI found, and they made the call on what to automate. It's collaboration, Human expertise paired with AI's incredible data crunching power. Not a replacement story. Okay, so we've got the problem, a 3-month nightmare. And we've got the solution, a slick AI agent. So the big question is, what happened when they unleashed it? Well, let's just say the results were pretty astonishing.
Okay, let's start with time. Remember that 90-day slog to map just one process? With the AI agent, it took 10 days. 10! What used to eat up an entire quarter of the year was now done in less than 2 weeks. I mean, come on, that is an absolute game changer. And just look at this chart. It really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? We're talking about an 89% reduction in time. This isn't just making something a little bit better. This is fundamentally changing the speed at which the business can operate and improve.
And it gets better. The time savings weren't just about the mapping process itself. By actually automating the tasks the AI found, Val clawed back more than 121,000 employee hours every year. Think about that. That's time their people got back to do the smart, creative, strategic stuff that humans are great at, not repetitive data entry.
And here we are. The big number, the payoff, all those saved hours, all those new efficiencies. What did it add up to? Over $5 million in annual savings. They literally found $5 million that was just trapped inside their own inefficient workflow. Incredible.
So that's an amazing story for Vale, for sure. But what does it mean for the rest of us? The so what here is actually huge. This isn't just a one-off success story. Let's zoom out a bit and see why this worked so well and where else this idea could be applied.
You see, this was kind of the perfect scenario for this kind of AI. You had large-scale, repetitive tasks. You had processes that followed specific rules. And you had tons of data for the AI to learn from. And when you think about it, doesn't that sound like a lot of industries? Finance, logistics, manufacturing, even healthcare. Any place that's heavy on complex, rule-based processes could see these kinds of results.
So we kind of come full circle, back to that first question.
What this story really shows us is that sometimes the biggest problems, the most expensive inefficiencies, are hiding in plain sight. They're disguised as business as usual. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. What's the silent bottleneck in your world? What's that process that everyone just accepts as slow and painful? Because it's very possible there's an AI that could turn it into a source of massive hidden value. Thanks for diving into this with me.